That company out of Mesa is called Optimind, and they're using techniques that might sound like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. But I spoke to a Mesa Mountain View athlete who underwent the treatment after suffering a major concussion, and he says it's not science fiction, it's actually a real treatment that made him feel right again.
Played baseball pretty much my whole life.
Trent Stapley is without a doubt a ball player.
Yeah, my mom signed me up for t-ball when I was younger, and I've been playing baseball ever since.
And since then, he's developed some favorite pitches along the way, like his fastball, slider, and his money pitch, the split finger. And he uses them all when playing for the Dust Devils of the Arizona Summer League.
I'm starting pitching today. We're in the playoffs.
But it was on the football field where life threw him a major curveball in the form of a concussion.
It was a kickoff. We were returning the ball, and I went to go block someone, and we bashed heads. And the only thing I remember is I hit him, and then I just I went to go back downfield to go run and block someone, and then all of a sudden it just like a delayed reaction. Then it just all of a sudden hit, and I stumbled to the ground. I couldn't really balance, and I just ran off the field, and I went and sat on the bench. That's pretty much the last thing I remember that whole night.
Trent's mother, Julie, quickly hit the field, and she remembers something wasn't right.
He knew who I was, but he couldn't say who I was, and I asked him, I said, Trent, you know, what's your address? He didn't know his address, and his brother walked up, and I said, who's that? And he just kind of looked at him, and he didn't know who he was. It was very scary. So, and I had never experienced that before, so to have my son do that, it was very scary.
The fear made worse as Trent's troubles continued for months.
I had a lot of short-term memory loss. I couldn't remember a lot of things that were happening.
He started experiencing very bad depression and really bad anxiety.
I couldn't remember where some of my classes were. I couldn't remember. I remember doing homework, and I was on like problem 5, and I turned the sheet back over, and all of a sudden I was down at problem 15. I don't know how I got the answers. I don't remember doing them.
Trent visited 4 different counselors, and things actually got worse.
We were desperate. My son he could not function. So I said, well, you know, my son needs help. I don't know if you can help him, but, you know, we're desperate.
Here, you take these, would you?
Thank you.
And help came in the form of Optimind and its brainwave optimization, a new technology that helps your brain after it becomes unbalanced due to both physical and psychological trauma.
Physical trauma could be like a sports-related concussion, auto accidents, any type of blow to the head. Also, psychological trauma could be an abusive relationship, unhealthy home environment, things like that.
So this is how Optimind works. These sensors are hooked up to your scalp, and it sends your brain waves to this computer right here, which in turn sends these waves back to your brain in the form of musical notes, which can be heard on these headphones, allowing your brain to see itself and correct itself, becoming more balanced.
There's an alternative to medication and standard approaches that people are looking for answers that they're not finding. And even though this is a bit this side of mainstream, I like to tell people that it's cutting-edge neuroscience, not science fiction.
And for Trent, positive results were a fact, and literally overnight.
I had just like a lot of cloudiness in my mind. I was really unable to think clearly. I had just a lot of racing thoughts, and just after the first day, a lot of that cleared, and I was a lot better than I ever was ever since my concussion. My
son went 2 times a day for 5 days in a row, and he was better.
And it appears Optimind is not just for people with problems.
Athletes, performers, executives who want to increase performance and reach peak personal performance.
And performing at a peak level is what Trent plans to do from now on. When you look back at how you mentioned you had a year's worth, or you went through a whole year of headaches, to now where you're basically symptom-free, how nice is that?
It's incredible. I don't know, it's night and day.